What up, y'all? It's your boy Hack to the Tech to the Get That Check. And I've been watching YouTube and Instagram, and I just want to talk about this kid. I mean, he's not a kid. He's a grown man. He's a grown-ass man. But he act like a kid. Now, this video, I'm not trying to diss him or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to diss him. Not trying to diss him. But, I am trying to, say some things about him that I don't think is cool. Some things that he been saying, you know what I mean? The dude I'm talking about is, I'm sure a lot of y'all watch his videos. He made a video about, first and foremost, I want to give a big shout out to Fat Joe for putting on Terror Squad, for putting on Big Pun, getting him out of the ghetto, giving bread to everybody, putting everybody on. I was watching an interview with Fat Joe when he was on Flex, and he said that before he put Pun on, and everybody else in the Terror Squad, Cuban Link, Armageddon, Triple Stace. You gotta remember, Terror Squad did have an album that dropped. So Fat Joe did a lot for Big Pun and his crew. Gotta remember that. Eating some Chinese right now. Know what I mean? Pork on the fork. Anyway, I was watching an interview with Fat Joe on Flex, and he was saying he never put nobody else on until Pun came along, you know, and he didn't have to put anybody else on. Nobody got to put anybody else on if they don't want to, you know? They do it from their heart. He saw something in Pun that he saw in himself. You know what I mean? A dope Puerto Rican from the Bronx who could kill the mic. Now, there's this Latin king. His name is K Solo. This big dude who's a bodyguard, security guard. He made a video on how back in the day Fat Joe had a crew called Liberty Ave, because he was from Liberty Ave. Then he started saying, correction, he got it messed up. The crew was from Trinidad Ave. Then he said Trinidadian Ave. Now, through the whole video, he's getting the name of Fat Joe's first crew in the Bronx messed up. Kind of confusing to me. If people think I talk bad, yo, this guy, he kept saying Fat Joe's crew, Latin Kings, we had beef with the Trinidadian crew. Then he said with the Trinidad crew. Then he said with the Liberty Ave crew. Then he got it right once, the Trinity Ave crew. He's like, yeah, that's the proper way of saying the Trinity Ave. But then he kept saying Trinidad and Trinidadian crew. I was like, what the heck is this dude saying? Anyway, he was saying that Fat Joe Fat Joe was always getting into fights with the Latin Kings back in the day, and that there was one incident. It was one incident that happened where they kept fighting so much that they had a meeting. So it was a meeting between the Latin Kings, the Trinity Ave crew, that's Fat Joe's crew, and the Zulu Nation. And supposedly Zulu Nation squashed it. And then he went on saying that while Fat Joe was on stage talking, a Latin queen got up there and he supposedly, I don't know, he said something to her, or he I don't know, I forgot what he said, like he disrespected her or something, I don't know. Well, anyway, something happened between Fat Joe and this Latin queen, and then supposedly, allegedly, or supposedly, the Latin Kings were gonna go hurt Fat Joe that day. But he said that Fat Joe went and hid behind the Zulu Nation. Now, I don't think I believe this story. You know what I mean? I don't believe this story because recently he put out a video saying that Cuban Link had gotten shot. And Cuban Link responded on his Instagram talking about this kid K Solo, or this man. He's old, man. He's like in his 50s or 60s. I don't know. He's just an old man or whatever. And I mean, he's cool, man. I follow him. His videos are dope. His stories, he got a few stories that are dope. He's a funny guy, you know what I mean? I don't got anything against him. I just think he bit a lot off of Warpath. You know what I'm saying? Warpath is the other Latin King cat that got his own Instagram. I think he bit off of him a little bit, you know what I mean? And well, anyway, like I said, so then he went on to talk about Fat Joe. So Cuban Link said on his Instagram that he heard this kid K Solo talking about him, saying that he got shot and that he's irrelevant and blah blah this and that and that and that and this and so he was like, I don't know who this guy K Solo is. The only K Solo I know is the one that's with Eric Sermon, EPMD, and Redman. I don't know about this guy, but whatever. He don't know me. He don't know whatever. But, and Cuban Link never got shot. You know what I'm saying? He's all right, obviously. If you go to his Instagram, he's there. But anyway, so okay, so I'm gonna talk about K Solo now. So after he told that story about Fat Joe that I don't believe, he started saying how Fat Joe owes Chris Rivers a record deal, and that Big Pun lent Fat Joe $10 million before he passed away, and that Fat Joe owes it to Chris Rivers and to his family. Listen, man, Fat Joe and Big Pun had a relationship, all right? They were friends. More than that, they were business partners. If Big Pun gave Fat Joe some money, then he gave it to him, period. That's between them, you know? Between them. If you watch the Flex video, you see everything that Fat Joe did for Big Pun and Cuban Link and Triple Sace and, of course, Armageddon, because that's his brother. Tony Sunshine's his brother, too, you know what I mean? Prospect, Remy Ma, the whole Terror Squad, the things he did to them, for them, he bought them houses, he bought them cars out of his own pocket, and on top of that, he put on people, he helped put on people. Actually, he put on Pun. Y'all should give him his respect. He put Pun on. Like, if it wasn't for him, nobody in the Terror Squad would have a name right now except Armageddon and probably Tony Sunshine. No Cuban Link, no Prospect, no Triple Sace. You know what I mean? Shout out to Prospect and Armageddon. I got songs with both of them. They cool dudes. But none of them would have had a career. They wouldn't have had businesses popping right now. They wouldn't have been known. You know what I'm saying? They could come out with a YouTube channel right now, a podcast, and do their thing just off of the history. You know what I mean? Off of the history, they could go on and do their own thing right now. You know why they not doing it? I don't know. But Cuban Link is. I mean, he doing something. Armageddon and the rest of the guys, I guess they just want a private life. They want to live a normal life, probably. But they still rapping and they still killing it. They just real MCs. You know what I mean? But honestly, I think everybody in the Terror Squad should really, and all of the fans and everybody, and even K Solo, give respect to that man. Put some respect on his name. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Fat Joe, you wouldn't be talking about Chris Rivers. You know what I mean? Chris Rivers wouldn't be Chris Rivers right now, honestly, if it wasn't for Fat Joe. So think of the bigger picture. Think of the history. Think of the pioneer from the Bronx, Trinity Ave, Forest Projects. The man that built it all was Fat Joe. Yes, Big Pun came in and tore it up at the best time. The dude sounded a little bit like Capadonna. He came out in the Wu-Tang era. He came out at the right time, and they took it over. You know what I mean? They came out with the PR song, Still Not a Player, radio hits, you know what I mean? He had it in him. Boom. Fat Joe then started blowing up because he started getting older and he started to understand more. You know, he started to make records for the radio, and that's the smart move. You know, make records for the ladies. You know what I mean? Like Big Pun was starting to do before he passed. You know what I mean? You always gotta have a few records for the ladies and for the radio and all of that. You know, and Fat Joe says this himself. He says it like Big Pun taught me a lot. Yeah, and that's true. He did, but honestly, Big Pun wouldn't have been on if it wasn't for Fat Joe. But rest in peace, Big Pun. He's the best to ever do it. And shout out to Fat Joe because he's the best to ever do it too. You know what I mean? Let's salute them all. You know what I mean? And let's salute them all as legends. I salute Cuban Link too. You know what I'm saying? And I met Cuban Link once, and I speak to Fat Joe. So salute them both. You know what I mean? I look at them as legends. I'm neutral. I don't judge them for whatever happened to them in the past. I don't judge them. You know, that little beef they had, that's between them. And it got nothing to do with me, but that's just my point of view on this Cat Case solo, you know what I'm saying? And no disrespect, like I said, this is just my opinion on that video you put up, you know? I think you got your whole information wrong, bro. You know, first you come up with this story about Fat Joe, then he's talking about Cuban Link getting shot, you know what I mean? And Cuban Link is fine, you know what I mean? Like, get your info right. I don't believe that story about Fat Joe, you know what I mean? I really don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe it at all, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, it's your boy Heck to the Tech to get that check. I'ma holla at y'all later, man. Peace.